Peace, peace. What's good, everybody? I hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing well. Yeah, let me just share this out a little bit. Still getting used to. Now I'm starting to understand what you're supposed to be doing when you go live. Yeah. Peace, peace, peace. Hit that like button if you're in there. I appreciate that. Yeah, just jumping on. You know what I mean? Trying to stay disciplined. You know what I mean? I be on a lot of pages. You know, following people. People follow me, get friends, cause I want to. I need to get my followers up so I can, make some money on TikTok. You know what I mean? And I think that's everybody's. Not everybody. It's a lot of people goal. It's definitely my goal. So I appreciate it. If you come in, if you could hit that like button, you know what I mean? I would appreciate it. And anybody that you see in here that's hanging with me, or follow them. You know, I appreciate that. Hit that like button for me though. But yeah, that's my goal. You know what I mean? I'm an OG, so I'm playing music, but I be on a lot of young people Jones, and I always get I'll be like, damn, what I'm gonna play? But I listen to stuff like this. If you can hear it, I hope you can hear it. You know what I mean? But I listen to a mixture of stuff. I don't really listen to too much new stuff. I listen to old school hip hop, R&B, all of that. You know what I mean? So that's basically what I'm doing. Yakub Nelson, Orlando Dorian, peace, peace, peace. Hit that like button for me. Plus, I ain't really, usually when I get on, I talk about things in particular. But, world affairs, current events, stuff like that. I talk about that. Plus, I'm like a conscious individual. So I talk about consciousness and religion. You know what I mean? But, right now, I got to kick into, I'm a boxing coach. So, just really motivational type speaking, you know what I mean? I do that every day anyway, you know what I mean? Get people to do things that they don't want to do, well, to fight off their laziness, or to set high goals for themselves. Do that every day, you know what I mean? And to work through problems, work through hardships. You know what I mean? And definitely laziness. Laziness is a big thing. You know what I mean? I almost didn't jump on today because, I don't know. I was laying around, tired. I was on a lot of other people. Okay. Corey Spence. I appreciate you. Yeah. I appreciate that. I see you when you get back. You know what I mean? Hit that like button for me, though. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? But, you on this road to this 5K, I know I gotta stay consistent. So I'm doing it. I'm gonna hang on for a minute. Well, yeah, I'm gonna hang on for a while, for a couple hours. You know what I'm saying? I see I got a couple people in here. Where y'all dialing in from? I'm in Philly, the city of brotherly love. Yeah, no, nothing. Yeah, but let me find something. Listen to the vibe. King Tut, peace. Hit that like button for me. And if you come in and out, hit that like button for me. And if you follow, I follow back. You know what I mean? If you come in and if you follow me when I come off the live, I'll follow you back. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. Let me invite. Yeah. But hey, Miss Karen, peace. How you? Okay, you jumping on with it. Okay, that's what's up. I don't even know what I'm. Can you hear me? Hear me? Yeah. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Peace, peace. How you doing?
Hanging in there. That's all we could do. Hanging in there.
I know that's right. Same here. You know what I mean? Just trying to, on this journey. Uh, just trying to stay positive. You know, that's basically that's the everyday thing. It ain't nothing. Well, it's very special, but it's really everyday with me, and I see for you too. You know what I mean?
Every day. Every day I'm just grateful for a new day.
That's right. That's right. Same here. You know what I mean? I see you've been posting. You've been posting that old school music. You posted "Tighten Up" on me the other day. That joint took me back because I used to. My mom, she had the box. Back in the day, everybody had the 45s, the little records, and I used to tell my mom to play that joint over and over again.
Yeah, I threw some music up there. Throw off my little algorithms. They've been muting some of my videos. So, throw something else. I felt like, well, let me put some old school music when music was music.
Yeah. Plus, they don't be on top. It seems like you sometimes you can post stuff with the old school music on there, and they won't mute it.
Right.
That's what I've seen. But
Yeah. And I've been feeling that way, the old school music.
yeah, it's the best music
Right.
actually. You know,
Right. It
actually,
brings back memories. Good ones.
right. Plus, it was about love. The old music was more about love.
Right.
And partying or something like that. Something real light, light, light. Not that this heavy stuff now is all about
Oh,
being
God.
rich, getting rich, over sex and all
So
that kind of
it's all an illusion. We was getting real creation, instrumental music.
right,
And you
right.
out of Philly, so you should know. A lot of people went to the
Hmm.
School of Arts performing when they had those programs in Philly, and a lot of them went into music, and a lot of the behind the scene musicians, whether people believe it or not, are Philadelphians. Philadelphia has a whole frequency.
That's true. That's true. It's the sound of Philly actually with Kenny Gamble, the
Right.
OG, Eddie Pendergrass, all that kind of stuff. All that stuff is real classic music. It really came out of Philly. It was
And
part of it's part of a certain time, a good time.
right. And I've been in Philly a lot lately
Hmm.
this year and just traveling. I call it God's tour when he starts taking me lately to different states.
Right.
I see so many different things like the buildings and all the things that you start putting together. Like I see you went out over there by what's that down there? Like what's that? Where the court system is at?
Yeah, I was down. Yeah, I happened to be down City Hall that day.
Right. Like I went down there one day and I realized the train where the train comes out up there was that journal, Broadway or something.
Was Broad, well, like Broad and Market Street, it all
But
meet up right there.
right, you know how the train station comes out when you go through the tunnel of the court.
Yeah, you can get out off the train right there at City Hall.
Right at City Hall, you look at the floor of the compass.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I put it on my. I think I put on that video I put up.
Right.
Yeah,
But I
it's
went to
peaceful.
Philly a couple of months, been there going back and forth for a couple of months this year, and my peoples was taking me around there, and like so many things I'm seeing, like the buildings, the Tartarian buildings, and the whole frequency, and seeing like what happened to this city, like who are really the people of this city, like who the originated, you know what I mean?
Ones who really built it, because
Right,
a lot of
right.
that stuff, if you do your work on it, you can't find no pictures of no construction, even though that stuff was supposed to have been built in 1899 or 1902.
Nah, ain't no way electricity and all that. We did
Right.
not. How?
No power tools, none of that stuff. So
Right.
they putting up a building. The city hall alone they got 20-foot walls.
Right. And then like
So,
when you
so
go to
they,
certain areas like through the parks, you see half of it taken off. You only see the entrance, which is a portal left
yeah.
with guys on statues, and you like, well, who's these people? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on here? What have they done? They have split us.
But just just misinforming us and and indoctrinating us with the false education is enough just to keep your eyes and your mind off of what's real.
Yeah, but Philly is heavy, bro. Like
It is.
real, like who real heavy.
And
You know,
when I finally got like aware of it, it blew my mind. Cause this stuff was like right in front of my face all my life, and I wasn't paying it no mind, just not paying it no attention. You know
like
what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, I knew about it. I knew where it was at. Like if somebody asked about it or something like that, but I never really thought that it was that important. But it's an old world city.
There's a what like you see Elkin Park Estate.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
what in the like? Nah, y'all can't keep
Wow.
telling me this. My logic tells me something different. I'm sorry.
What?
No, like the narrative they gave us.
Oh,
When you open your eyes in the veil and you use your own knowledge, your own logic from what they try to embed in us, it don't add up.
it's true. That's why you got at the same time you learning, you gotta unlearn.
Right.
Like,
None of this adds up. None of this adds up. And I found out that I think was the Declaration of Independence was signed in the spot of Kensington and Allegheny.
yeah, because that's the real true Kensington. Like when you really go into like the history, because like people don't understand that the world back then was like you had empires, like you had the British Empire, the French Empire. Back in those days, people don't understand what you think is Spain, what you think is France, what you think is England. It's really in America.
Right.
It's just that
Right.
after Reconstruction, they switched it to the part of the empire that was in Europe. But really, why you think? How you think they sent all them thousands and thousands of soldiers across the water to fight a war over here? No, them soldiers was already here.
Yeah, right, exactly,
Yeah,
right. Like, yeah, yeah. Like when
Massachusetts is England. Philly is England. Like,
right,
you
right, when you go, right, right. And you know it's funny you say that Philly is England because when I was in Cheltenham, right?
know.
When you look at all the houses over there, they look very hobbyish.
What you mean? Like what you mean?
Like the stone whole homes,
Right.
the stone wall, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you look at the like, wait a minute, this look like you in England, but when you go, I went to a spot, it says Cheltenham, and then it tells you how many thousand of miles is Cheltenham in other places, and you like, well, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, that's a major. But see, that's a major thing. Like even with changing, not necessarily changing the names, because a lot of these places had they had different names. Even like New York. New York was uh New Brunswick. It's just
New York had
New
a different name, right, right,
New
but it just don't
Amsterdam.
add up. Philly has a lot like, who, a lot of history, and I'm realizing, okay, so them row houses, it gotta be underground tunnels here.
Oh, it is without a doubt. Because
You know,
it's just like where you from, Miss Karen? Where you from?
I'm from New York City, Harlem.
I could tell. I ain't want to say it, but I could tell by the way you talk. But yeah, I definitely could tell that from the way you talk. But even in New York, just like Philly, you got tunnels that's not even being used. It ain't been used in hundreds of years.
Especially under the train. When I was a kid, right,
Hmm.
we used to go play in Central Park. And you know, kids, you're inquisitive. You're like, what's in here?
Hmm.
Under there, the train system is crazy. They got abandoned stations. And then when I looked up back in the days, when they used to have the train truck, the trains used to stop at buildings where the rich would get off and enter through the sub level of the train level into the building.
Hmm. Yeah, and that
Like,
stuff not even being used. That's a whole nother world under there, actually.
Fact,
It's a whole nother, really a whole nother city at another level.
fact.
You know what I mean? That's why, like, you know, if you follow like that mud flood Tartarian type thing, you got to take everything with a grain of salt because it'd be like people be coming with their particular how they see it, like from their perspective, right? But it's a lot of good work. It's that's how you figure it out. You
Yeah,
because even if you were doing the Hebrew thing, the Moorish thing, because it's all connected. But I think in this time, that's a major piece to the puzzle to get into. That's why I always say, like, you gotta get into that mud flood and that Tartarian thing. Whether you like,
yeah,
even though it's like a trendy thing, but and people always everything Tartarian and all that. But a lot the back in the day, the world, because I found I was on a dude video. This is like a couple years ago. Back in the day, I'm talking about like 200 years ago. You had the United States, you had the United States of Russia and the United States of America.
right, right,
You know,
exactly.
so the whole world in reality was it was just different, and it's like a lot of places that you think was not unified was unified. Like in the old world, United States, well, America and Russia was united.
Right. Even the people don't even know Alaska was sold to America through Russia.
Right, but it was always the same
Right,
thing anyway. It's just
right,
like
right, right,
Russia got a certain portion of stuff, and what's called the United States now got a portion of got a portion of stuff. So that's why like people, a lot of us, we don't, piece by piece of figuring it out. You always run across like real good, like some jewels that blow your mind because they got us so much in left field that I mean through religion, through the school system, through like especially Hollywood, So one by one, you got to really figure out each particular thing. And but the real thing is the people that all that stuff, man. Them people together, they together now too.
right.
The evil ones of wherever, the evil ones from over there is down with the evil ones from here. If you go over whatever, the ones who they say on the platforms and all that stuff, they all together.
Right. They just been putting characters as years go on into the narrative, new characters that they put to control it. But
Yeah.
the Mud Floods is definitely a place that I started out many years ago when I started looking at the World Fairs and the maps from that, like the Louisiana Purchase, and looking at the World Fairs and then saying, wait a minute, when did we really like achieve electricity? So y'all brought all that power from Niagara Falls and made all this stuff to tear it down?
Right. And people and a lot of I learned so much from following that genre of information. Even like a lot of waterfalls, like you said, the Niagara Falls, they because you got different levels, you got different eras of time dealing with that. Like every era of time, you got different. You had like resets that happened at different times.
Right,
But
right.
them waterfalls are actually the remnants of old buildings that the water system is still working. The
And
water system is so
it's
powerful that
funny
it's
that you talk about waterfalls because I came across something that said, like, you know how you go to certain major parks that's considered historic
hmm
and they have the water fountain?
right. Same
They
if
say those are portals.
I believe so. I'm gonna say believe because I don't necessarily know for sure, but I definitely believe so because this is why they want to like especially here in Philly in Fairmount Park, a lot of stuff when you see stuff covered with like cemeteries or memorials and stuff like that, you know it's something going on because they don't want nobody to mess with it. You know that they know the people ain't gonna mess with it if it's like a memorial. Well, you
Right.
ain't digging and stuff like that. And if you in the grave, people ain't you gotta you ain't people ain't gonna be digging in no graveyard, even though that's where it's at.
And then it's like they just give us so much history of a civilization that starts in the 1800s, right? But
hmm
what happened in the 1600s to the 1700s? And I'm learning now that, when you go in different towns and they have the sign that says land patent,
hmm
When you read a lot of those, which Philly has a lot of those, it's either land patent, but it's usually next to like farmland and stuff like that. It starts showing you like who the land was owned by when you read it.
And then you could tell when the land was taken over, and then like
Right,
when it was like incorporated, because like
right.
these big cities, the old border lines, the border lines of the land back then is not the same as now,
No, it's
because
different maps.
yeah,
Right.
because they incorporated parts of the city into the futuristic city which is now, but really it was already there. It's just that, and they try to they write in the history like they started building and they built it, but no, it was already there. They just
You
incorporated.
can't, yeah. How can you go from amazing structures with such intense carvings of stone to wood and horse and buggy and hammer and nail?
You can't, yeah, right? You can't do it. Yeah, how
Right.
you going? How you going? Shoot, we started off talking about City Hall. Building that City Hall is just as difficult as building the daggone pyramid over in Egypt.
Too much intricate in the stonework.
It's megalithic. The blocks weigh 10 tons.
Right,
How you moving that on a stagecoach? Like a wagon.
right,
How
right,
you can't do it. You know what I mean? But a lot of us, we don't think about that. We just don't think about that. We just think we don't think about it until somebody tell us, and then we may kind of reject it. Because I done had conversations. I mean, one of my homies, we was talking about it. And I was like, man, they ain't build that stuff, right? And this is like in the last year, right? And he was like, start talking about how industrious and all of that. Like, yeah, the people back, because we was talking about on some so-called black stuff, right?
mhm,
He was saying all the people, but I said, man, they ain't build that. That stuff been there. It's just that, no, I'm just saying like melanated people did it, but not even the people that they putting up for certain things. They ain't even do it. This stuff was here before that.
right. Because if our greatest inventors, right, as they would say, melanated inventors, they started showing us them of the 1800s, right? Got the great black inventors list. The resources and money couldn't have been an issue.
Plus, everybody who was an inventor, they try to say like they escaped out of slavery and got all these degrees and learned how to
Yeah,
read.
if you look at the people were well dressed, well to do. So resources and money couldn't have been that much of an issue because you got trial and error, right? They made all the greatest inventions. What the furnace? You know what I'm saying? Or in these times, no, ain't no. So our history had to be suppressed. There's a piece missing.
Plus, if you think about this, even in the mainstream history, they talk about how, let's say, in after the Civil War was over, they say that the government was okay. The government was destroyed. So they said for a few years, I can't remember the exact amount of years, but it was a certain amount of time where the the former slaves ran the government. So I'm like, how the hell? How can people who can't read, people who don't own no property, people who don't have no education, how they run the government? They don't even make you understand. But people don't even think about like, yeah, how the
How
hell?
they invented all these things with all the lack of knowledge that they claim we had. You had to have years of trial and error. Years.
Right. In order to make a car engine, a car that run,
Right.
you gotta make stuff that don't. How many years you gotta go making stuff that don't really work before you finally get that model that really do? Hey, Miss Karen, can you hit the like button for me?
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yeah, boy, you know what I mean? It's a lot of one by one. You can get into the Civil War and guess what? You be wide awoke after that. If you get into the you know what I mean the same way.
Right. The Civil War, they couldn't contain us being prisoners of war on our own land. We wasn't slaves. We were. I consider us being prisoners of war in our own land, and then
That's
told that we was enslaved, that we were slaves,
right.
that we were brought here.
That's
That was to take away our land, the freemen, the freemen roles and all that when they was purchasing the lands and stuff, and you know what I mean, taking away our land patents and things of that nature, and then told, oh, we were slaves, we ain't own nothing. But how is that when we made all the greatest inventions basically known to man up until this day? The GPS system, all these things to this day are being made by melanated people.
right. You couldn't even air conditioning and traffic lights and
Right.
so many different things. If people say, if you take that out of people's lives, you can't even live. You can't live with comfortably without stuff that American so-called black people made. You can't. It's
Exactly.
you can't. Well, you wouldn't live as comfortable. You wouldn't be as comfortable as you is. You know what I mean? But
Mm-mm.
I definitely I just was I be watching a lot of different stuff. Like
Me too.
yeah, especially on YouTube. See, YouTube is where I get a lot from though. You know, do you follow that? You follow John Levy?
Excuse me. Say that again.
Do you follow John Levy on YouTube?
N- No, I don't follow him, but I've come across him.
Okay. Yeah, John Levy is like he one of the ones like that really like reached a lot of people. It's a lot of people out there doing the same thing, dealing with the old world architecture and stuff like that. But he did a John one time. He did a John, and he really spoke on New York in particular. And he talked about Moors, and he even had a picture of some kids back in the '70s, and they was like sitting on a step somewhere. I don't know where they was at, Harlem, Brooklyn, but they was in New York. And he literally said out of his mouth, he said how these people here are the true owners of this.
Right.
So it all, you know how like even if you get into the Moorish information and you start learning that the people that you think are the enemy are going to be the ones telling the truth, and the people that you think is your brother is the one that's going to try to keep you enslaved.
Right.
You see,
Exactly.
you see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
so you gotta really be wrapped tight upstairs to stay sharp. Like I mean, I'm just saying because a lot of people melanated people, so-called black people, be the ones that they don't want to let go of the false stuff. They don't they the ones that try to keep you on it. And then it'd be a lot of light-skinned people. You know what I'm saying? So-called white people. They be telling the truth. They be like, yeah, y'all Moors. Oh yeah, y'all the
Because
original.
they go and do the hardcore research.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, they
yeah,
do the hardcore research. They know who we are better than some of us know who we are. They go do the research. They take the time to do the research. We don't follow our own godly discernment. And then we want to be led, and then we want to believe what we led by rather than following our own discernment. Like, wait a minute, this don't make sense. You know?
but see, that's why. But it's a vibe thing. One thing I noticed though, well, I recognize that it's a vibe thing because if just because you know that you ain't black and that you ain't no African American or whatever the case may be, don't mean that you vibing high.
Facts.
You know what I mean? When you vibe, people that vibrate high, it don't really matter what your skin complexion is. In reality, like once you get to a certain level, you understand that it's us against them. But I mean, it's them and us against them and them. Like they together over there. You know, it's white, so-called white people and black
There's
people.
a group of people that's
Right.
the darkness, and there's a group of people for the for the light, for the sustainability of humanity, and they come in all colors and races on each side.
That's right. That's right. But I ain't gonna lie, I always speak on this. Well, I don't always, but I speak on it a lot though. I came I came through the anger room though. You know what I mean? I walked through the anger door though. It's just that I ran into the more I studied and the more I was like just correcting my own behavior, well, my own thoughts and all that stuff. I started realizing that wow, it ain't even all about all that. And then you know, that's how I got on like different stuff like flat Earth and the Tartarian and the mud flood, all that stuff. You know, because instead of just being mad at the so-called race issues, I just went past it.
See, but I remember in school reading a book called A Flat Earth Firmament, but
Okay.
they took those books away.
Oh, when you was in school, yeah.
Yeah, I went to Catholic school. I remember reading that book like Flat Earth for Firmament.
Right.
And
Okay.
then the Bible says the four corners of the earth. A ball doesn't have corners.
Right. Right. But it's in the Bible anyway about the dome and all of that.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just that
They manipulated it to benefit them.
but then to keep our attention like a lot through Hollywood and indoctrination from school. We think we believe in outer space. So you know, people believing that, oh, I'm gonna be an astronaut or something like that. You ain't going to no space because it really ain't. The real space is the ocean.
Right, right,
You
right,
know what I mean? Like that's the real ocean. That's the real outer space is the ocean. They don't even know. They only what they know 5-10% of the ocean.
right.
Come
They
on, man.
haven't and they haven't still even can't even fully get all the research from the ocean. It's
Right.
so it's so dark and to go down so far, the breathing.
But yeah, yeah. Like the pressure, like you can't go
Right.
but so
For so far, right.
it's the but that's you know just imagine that. Imagine if people, if the youth, the children was really focused in on like being submariners, being like uh
Marine
being
biologists, yeah.
sailors. You know, it's a thing, right? In our community, right? You know this, that so-called black people can't swim. But we is the people that sail the ocean. We the best swimmers historically. It's just that in the last 150, 200 years, they got us away from that.
Exactly.
We
They
made
did.
for the water.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot. It's a lot. How could we be Moors and that's the whole thing with Moors. Moors is dealing with boats.
Exactly.
Moor up when you moor a boat, you moor the boat to you tie the boat up when you pull in the dock, you tie it up. It's called mooring. It's like Moors like and Moors can't swim, but guess what? That's why they keep a lot of stuff away from. They keep a lot of stuff away from the people. You know what I mean? But
Right.
you know, that's
That's what we people like you here for. That's what we it
like
was in
us.
our coding. It was put in our coding because it knew we would be here
Mm,
to at least drop as much knowledge or information as possible to the people.
that's right. And one thing, you know, I've been around a little while. Like, you know, like I guess you could say I'm an elder because I'm 51 years old, right? But I tell people, I say when I was a young boy and we was doing different things because you know I was mainstream Muslim for all my life and all that stuff. I can remember like the older people, they was really closed to a lot of stuff. They closed minded to it. You know, they didn't want to hear nothing different than church or stuff like that. They just didn't want to hear that. Like, you know, even though it was a few people that knew that now that I look back on them, I see that they was really about something when we thought they was like crazy or tripping. But it's good that people like us that's lived life and seen us go through things. Like I said, I remember when the people was getting conscious in the 80s and the 90s.
Right.
I remember that clear as day. You know what I mean? I remember that. And it, they put the same thing on the people back then. They weaponized the music. Uh, they put the certain kind of drugs, and now you got people running around on the pills. But back then it was it was like the crack and the yeah, it was the crack. But now it's like little kids running around, everybody running around want to take pills and stuff. But uh, they run the same play.
It's a reset. It's just it's different drug for a different era.
Right, right, right.
It's a reset. They wrote a 300-year plan.
But now they weaponizing. But now they weaponizing the female aspect or version of rap music.
Because the monarch, the woman holds a very strong position in this narrative.
The highest. She got the highest status. Y'all got the
Right,
highest.
she's the
Really, the highest
mitochondrial,
status.
the mitochondrial chromosome comes from her, so that means every race comes from her. You know what I'm saying? And there was a time before, you know, the Vatican and them got involved where the woman was held at a certain level,
Hmm.
and they took that away
Yeah.
to separate us more of anything.
Hmm. They just,
Separate,
they just put an age restriction or something on my. Something just flashed on my jaw. Some age restriction or something.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
you know, so that the men don't respect the woman don't respect the man. I don't need a man. The man say he don't need a woman. Pit us against each other because they knew this time was coming. They knew it.
Hmm. And man and woman are teammates. It ain't.
Correct.
You know what I mean? All of that stuff is people gotta leave that stuff off for real.
It's
You
a
know what I
part of
mean?
electromagnetic. One is electric and one is magnetic. And when we come together, we build the energy.
Right. We manifest. You know, that's
Right,
what like
right,
children building
right,
homes, building
right,
environments, communities.
right.
You know what I mean? That's where it come from. But you know, I mean, I don't know. We working our way through a lot, believe it or not, because even even people that don't really like get into a lot of stuff, they conscious. They know about it. They know the old stuff is it ain't right. You
We
know.
went through a 5 year crash course in life in 5 years. Like boom. Either you make it or break it. But here go the information
Yeah.
that's been suppressed for so long.
Yeah. But shoot, I ain't gonna lie. I think I really started looking at stuff maybe about almost nine, about nine, but like 2015, 15, 16, right in that area. I started watching stuff about different things, about like a lot of Aboriginal Indian type stuff.
Right.
And then I already knew about the Moors because the Moors was always around, like just like the Nation of Islam and all that. Like the Moors was always in effect in Philly, so I knew, but I didn't know all about what the belief system. I didn't know what it was all about. And you know what? And I say that back in the day, we used to learn more about like so-called Black history because I knew about Noble Drew Ali when I was a little kid.
So did I. I live in Harlem, so Harlem is like a hub for many religions. The Israelites, the Muslims, the 5 percenters.
Right.
Growing up, going on 125th Street, you seeing the Malachi York books, Noble Drew Ali books. I've been all my life been getting the information. Plus, my mother is from Puerto Rico, and
Okay.
I was raised to know that she's like, no, I'm a Arawak Indian, which they call a Taino Indian,
Right.
but Taino is really the language. So my grandmother was a Spaniard. My grandfather was an Indian. So the war has been in my blood. You know what I'm? You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And
I, I
I
know. Go
was
ahead. I'm gonna tell you a story, but yeah, my story is the same.
on my mother's side, I was raised with her teaching us, a lot of knowledge, a lot of certain things because she came here in the 40s and they came here because it was at the time where they were sterilizing the Hispanic women over there.
Mm.
And they was taking their land, and you know what I mean. You had a lot of farmland with sugar cane and things of that nature, and trying to westernize them even more. So I was raised growing up hearing certain things. You know what I mean? That now it's like, wow, my mother wasn't lying.
Right, and you know what? And but it's even I just you talk about the unity thing because you're saying about Tainos. A lot of people don't know that all of the islands over there is basically they are Tainos. But even people from Florida and all that, it's just Taino. It's still
Right.
even like there was no real language barrier. You think somebody could come from Puerto Rico or Jamaica and go to Florida and they don't know how to, and they can't communicate, they can't talk to the people. It's the
Well, they
same.
have to
It's the
be able
same
to
people.
communicate because of trade. They've been trading long before. That's how they got the so-called slave route.
But it's the
They were
same
trading,
people.
is right. They were trading long before that even came into play. So they had to be able to communicate.
I am Thea. How you doing? How you doing? I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Right, but but I'm just saying, like a lot of times, even when you deal with like people, like you got Haitians and you got Dominicans, right? But a lot of people, I used to think that it was two different places, but then I realized, I said, hold on, that's the same island.
Right. Is they like a creek away. They like a creek of separation.
Yeah, it's the same island,
The creek, like
right? And really that's what Columbus came to. Actually, was Haiti. What they call it? It's Hispaniola, right?
Hispaniola, right.
Right, but that's where but people don't know. They think he came here, but
But
no,
Haiti,
he went.
Haiti gets their rap because they're the first ones to ever overthrow
Peace,
them.
peace, peace. I am there. Hey, hit that like button for me if you could.
Haiti has to be put where they put them because Haiti is one of the first people to ever overthrow them. People forget about the Haitian Revolution and France imposed their great grandchildren to pay the debt back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the people is connected to a lot of the people there is whether they ignorant, they because they ignorant of their history too. But what I'm saying, whether they ignorant of their history or not, they got a connection with their power.
They still connected deeply to the old roots, the soil, the earth.
Right, they connected. So that's like a weapon of that's just something that's just something to worry about. That's if you
Right.
take that's
And
something
Haiti
to worry
got
about.
gold and all of that.
Oh yeah.
Precious minerals,
Hmm.
everything that they don't talk about.
That's right. Well, that's all. The more we talk like this and we study and we study, right? Because we know stuff now, right? We know stuff. You know what I mean? But even just like validating stuff when let's say younger people or just people who don't know as much come and say, "Oh, what about this and that?" We the ones be like, "Yeah, that's look into it. Like, yeah, get into it. That's for real." You know what I'm saying? It's deep, and it really that's what slowly and gradually is building the people up. The people is coming up.
Yeah, they definitely are coming up. Everyone's time of awakening, they clock, no, they number clock is different. And then we also have to realize there's some people that just they chose not to wake up because
Right.
we have to continue to have something to fight for.
I just don't like the. You know what I don't like? I just don't like to see all the arguing, and back in the disputation, because it'd be like a lot of that used to go on in my religious life. Sect arguing. Even with Muslim people, everybody ain't the same. You got different groups and sects inside of Islam. So like all of that, I experienced that in the religious world, right? So then when I be seeing it, disputes between Israelites, Moors, Aboriginals, spiritual Christians, and all that, I just be shaking my head. I can't even put my brain on that stuff because all of that stuff is working is all together.
Right. It's working to keep us separated.
Right. Because you got Christian Moors, you got Hebrew Moors, Muslim Moors. Okay, if you deal with the Indian word, which is really not a good word, but what I'm just saying, some people to get them away from being black, okay, you're Indian, all right, cool. Then
I'm
down the line,
talking about the indigenous people, but the original indigenous people are black. They gotta realize The other Indians that don't look like us were brought here from the Mongolians from Alaska to remove us.
Right. To take our identity, and
Right,
then we get re-educated. It only take our kids. It only take you about maybe 30, 40 years, and the grandkids they don't remember. They don't remember nothing. They don't remember. They don't remember nothing. But most of us, we remember like our grandparents saying that they was Indians.
right.
So I'm fortunate that, but shoot, I'm 50 years old, 51 years old. So like the ones under the kid, like my kids, they know me saying it, but it still mess with them. Like, oh, you wanting people talk, but guess what? People were saying that back in the day when my grandparents ain't never talk about they ain't never talk no African stuff, and they was from South Carolina, they was from Florida. They ain't never talk
Right.
about no Africans. They just
The
did. They
Gullah
ain't nothing wrong with being
Geechees,
African. Like,
the Gullah Geechees and stuff. A lot of them proclaim to be indigenous people.
right. But you know, it's two sides. You know, you got people that uh see this is another thing. See, it's okay. It was always a connection between the people, you know. But what I'm saying is that paradigm, the paradigm of the only way that we had a connection was through like the slavery thing. That's wrong. But some of us we is related to them, but not the way they say it.
Right.
You know, because even I got ancestry. I got a lot of German ancestry. You know, but when
Even
you
in Germany, they had black kings. This is what they taken away.
the real German,
Ireland is Scottish.
right? The real German people
Right.
are black people. Though they're not. You go back 200 years. The real Germans, these German people, these is Germans, and I didn't trace my stuff back to the 1700s, 1600s. So I know my grandfather's names. They've been in the revolution, fighting in the Revolutionary War, got stuff. But see, the identity has been absorbed.
And the identity was absorbed because people got to realize too, there was a lot of interracial marriages going on back then too, before they even started giving us the black and white label, because white didn't come up, that didn't come into existence to the 1600s, because you got people like the Irish and all that was considered beneath melanated people. They couldn't even get jobs. The newspapers say, Nina, no Irish, no Irish needed. You get me?
But them Irish people, see, you gotta understand, it been rewritten for us to read. But back then, them Irish people is melanated people.
Melanated people, right, 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 right,
They melanated. It's just that when they made a movie about it in 1936, of course, you know, they turned the Irish,
right.
they
And
turned
then you got
red.
right, and then you got a lot of people that like they had interracial marriages, and people came out fair skinned, but their mama was melanated.
Everybody got that in their family.
Yeah, right,
Look, my mother is your complexion, and my father is dark skinned. So that's why, like, I guess I'm like a little in between that.
right. And you can
That
have a kid, and you can end up having a kid. You can have a dark skinned wife and end up having a light skinned kid, and they'll be like, because the gene skips generations.
one of my exes. I've been married a couple times, but my one of my exes and we have two children. Uh, we had a son together. We got two sons. But what I'm saying is, uh, both of us we about the same complexion. And one of our sons, is darker than both of us. I mean, he looked like us, but I'm just saying
No,
he's darker than
yeah,
both of us.
yeah.
We both like job like light kind of, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But matter of fact, she a teeny bit lighter than me. Yeah, she a little bit lighter than me, but yeah, and he came out darker than both of us.
Right. The complexion skips generations.
Yeah, that's all. Like the color, all of that stuff got the people messed up. You know,
Right.
you know what I
Color
mean?
and religion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because people they might go into church or in the masjid to hear the word of God and all of that, which is good, right? Okay, but the people are not dealing with the real social issues, like people's like the inheritance, the real your inheritance. Like we've been made, we can't inherit nothing. We got to work for everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything we don't have, we gotta submit to the system. We have to social security, all that kind of stuff in order to
Yeah,
and for you to prosper. You can't just be free. You can't just when they don't want you. You can. It's just a harder road once you to get to it. But you won't find these religious leaders. They won't speak on this stuff. They'll stay away. They'll dance around it, or they'll stay away from it, or they'll tell you don't get into it. Just fear God.
because once they sign up to that club, there's certain things that they gotta go by.
Well, most of these religious organizations, they supported by the government.
Yeah, they the 5-0, whatever,
Right,
they
they supported by it. So why would they? Not why, but they gonna lose a lot of
fund
support.
a lot of funding.
That's the bottom line, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's just what. That's why I eat the meat and spit the bones out. Like you know, even when I'm 100%. I'm a Moor, but I know for a fact that I come from what people consider as Indian people. My grandmother was a Seminole, my grandfather was a Cherokee. On both sides. So like I got, you know what I mean. But I had to learn even more that like these people are Moors also. You know what I mean?
And if
So
you look at a lot of the old flags of certain countries, you see the hats.
right. Right, and it was all connected, and even like I said, the German and being okay. I know for a fact I got a connection to Holy Romans.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Or just as like somebody who might trace their ancestry back to like the British, in the British with England in the old world, like what you call the Jew the real the Jews the Judites, like Charles the Fifth and all.
The people of color, they
Right.
just changed the pictures.
Right, it just changed the picture. So the people's all connected. Even Charles the Fifth was the last emperor of That's because I'm sitting here talking. But Charles V was the last emperor of not Aztec, last Maya Aztec emperor. It's a picture of him, and they got like the pictures of all the old world emperors. But Charles V, but you can't be that without the bloodline.
Right,
So regardless of you thinking that he come from over in England, over there in Europe, even though England was here, that's something else people gotta learn. But he couldn't be the emperor without having the bloodline.
right. That's why they did a lot of stolen identity.
No, I'm talking about the real one though.
Right, but that's why they did a lot of stolen identity and put
Right,
other and made us say, "Oh, this is the person." No, no, no,
right.
no,
They
no.
steal the whole identity,
Right,
you know. But
right. Identity theft has been going on since the beginning of time.
shoot, that's what it is. Every identity that you could think of been hijacked.
Right.
Whether it be what we look at as all of the Asian identities, Korea, China, whatever. Them identities are hijacked. They
Mhm.
not the original. It's a dude. It's a dude I follow on YouTube. I don't. He don't put out a lot of stuff, but he put out a real good video on so-called, he calling them black Asians and stuff. And you look on it, and he like see these original
The
Koreans and
black
Chinese.
Asiatics.
What? I'm
They
like,
took that out. The black and in China they did the scientists. They did the research. They proved original Asian was a melanated person.
right, right. So
And he was even shocked. The scientist said he was stuck.
but you know what? People, uh, I don't know. Like you know that word. You know the terminology, cognitive dissonance. A lot of people just don't want to accept it. They be too. They don't want to They don't really want. They'd rather deal with their oppression than redo their way of thinking.
Because they way of thinking for them, I guess, is easier for them. It's easy to be subservient for some people.
For some people it is, but with me, I really, I've been affected by it in negative ways, in a lot of different ways, whether just treatment, just different things, just different stuff I've been through in my life. So I accept the truth. I don't really, and I definitely ain't gonna be scared to, because I ain't that kind of person. But some people get held down because they have a particular thing, like they got a job, or they got something in dealing with the system, and they don't want to go against it, so they don't want to think about it. But that don't make it right, and that don't make the falsehood true.
Indeed.
So that's pretty much that's really what it is. I'm glad you jumped on with me too. Yeah, I'm glad. I
I've
mean,
been following you.
yeah, nah, I know you.
A sister put me on to you. Jenny the John, she put me on to you, and I started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. I like her content. Yeah. She's a nice sister. I like her content. She definitely yeah, and she from Philly too. She be putting out a lot of stuff along the same lines. You know what I mean?
Just trying to break things down little by little, and just try to make it a little softer for people to understand.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's deep, and you could tell with certain people. You could tell, like, even with certain people, you could just tell that they going against the grain, or whatever kind of situation they living in. they going against it. Cause I know I am. You know what I'm saying?
So here, we in the same boat.
Right.
And
Shoot.
I'm not raising no white flags. I'm still here for a reason. Through
Right.
all we've been through, some of us,
Hey, but this why this
in this time, it gotta be for a reason.
with the platform. That's what's been so beneficial about the platform to me,
Right.
because if it wasn't for the platform, I don't really interact. I mean, besides when I'm in the boxing gym and I'm training, with my fighters and stuff like that, I really don't really interact with a lot of people, with nobody. And I'm divorced, really single, so I don't. My kids living with, so I be by myself a lot. So I really can. The contact that I have with people really be on social media.
I get you.
You know what I mean? But you know, that's how I go sometimes. But the journey take you through a lot of different twists and turns. So
Hmm.
I've been detoxing for the last couple years. I mean, in my life, meaning just like getting negative individuals and energies out of my life. So uh,
Yeah.
it's a process, for real, for real. It just
That's
is.
one of the first steps. The universe, when I'm starting to see that when we say he has a purpose, the universe starts doing it. Certain things just don't work out no matter how much you want it to work. It's like that these people ain't for you. This person ain't for you. You know what I mean?
But a lot of times, if you going in a certain direction, the Most High God, Allah, the universe, whatever you want to like describe it will know that y'all not going in the same direction to start separating you.
Right,
So
right.
it don't, you know what I mean? You don't know why that you can't. You becoming more conscious, and you learning, and you may be speaking on a few things, or whatever, and you don't understand why people that you used to get along with, or you could chill with and spend a lot of time with, y'all just don't vibe. Y'all just
They not even on your timeline no more. Like,
right, right. So, but all of that come from you know upgrading, from you upgrading and you vibing higher. Yeah, you gotta move differently. That's for sure.
hmm
You know, yeah. Hit that like button for me. I appreciate that. Yeah, they spirit. Once you get aware, once you start vibing high enough, most of us is intuitive. Everybody got an intuition anyway. You know what I mean? You could just see stuff from a mile away. You already see when somebody lying to you. You already see all of that stuff. You know what I mean? And that's another thing that get us away from. Thanks, Miss Karen. That's another thing that get us away from a lot of people. Cause I'll be sitting there letting people just lie. A lot. When I have conversations with people, that I either friends with, even family members, and they'll be, on some job mess, and I'll be like, yeah, okay. And I'll be like, yeah, I see you later. You know what I mean? Whatever. And I'll be ghost. But I don't know. It's I'm kind of I ain't kind of I'm actually happy. It's just that no, I am happy, but what I'm saying is it's a different kind of happiness because I'm not happy because I'm in like some type of relationship with somebody or I'm getting all this making a lot of money or whatever. No, I'm really happy because I know my heart is serene right now. Like my mind is processing right. Everything is right with me. So that's what I'm happy about that. It's
You
other
have that peace and harmony that's at balance. Is at a balance.
right. So that's something new. Cause I used to be the kind of person that always uh, chase things, whether it was just money. You know, I used to do a lot of stuff that a lot of guys use on. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
even when I was being religious, I still had them ways, those bad ways, certain ways. But I don't know. This now things is just different. So and that comes from the learning. You know what I mean? And yeah, I feel great. I'm grateful about that.
I hear you.
Definitely, I'm
'Cause
definitely.
peace and harmony is something hard to find in this system. When you live in according to what they say you should be, you know?
Well, yeah, because it's a lot of different things. They might tell us that we got to be married to be happy, even though marriage is something good. That's if it's a good situation, or they tell you got to make a certain amount of money every week or every year. You know what I mean? In order to be happy, or you need a certain amount of degrees. All of that stuff is good, but I know I've been like had financial success, and my life was hell. You know
No
what I'm saying?
peace, right? No peace, no harmony, right? Exactly.
I done had all that stuff, and my life wasn't good for real, for real. So it's that's another lie
Right.
that say that you gotta have certain things in order to feel some type of contentment and happiness. That a lot of people it's hard to get they can't get over that. They just gotta have certain things in order for them to feel right. But I'm just saying, I don't knock nobody. For I do knock people though. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't I ain't no judgmental person. But if I see somebody on some bull mess, I'ma stay away from 'em. It's just that's just how I operate. You know what I mean? But when you vibe a little higher, you just know how better to deal with stuff, deal
Yeah,
with
you
people.
know how to remove yourself now rather than standing and deal with something that you know the person they don't have understanding.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It's just a good thing. I'll be seeing a lot of stuff, and you know, we could try to save the world. That's a thing. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But it's gonna be one. It's probably gonna be one person at a time. It ain't gonna be like a big group thing. Me and the brother was talking about that on the live the other day, and he was mentioning the stuff about like about people coming together collectively to do certain things. And he a little younger, so he seemed like he'd be discouraged because people be being ignorant or just not getting it or whatever. But I told him, I said, man, for real, most of us that's really like on some stuff like you on your own for real, like because you where you at. Okay, we creating a friendship, right? All right, but you there and I'm here. So you on your own, I'm on my own. It's like on a daily basis. Like it ain't like you have to talk to yourself, or maybe hopefully you got somebody to talk. I'm just saying most of us uh, is on a journey by themselves,
Yeah,
or they or
yeah, that's true. Because you have to go into that oneness in order to grasp this stuff first and foremost.
right.
And you save one person, that one person saves another person. You know, it all touches everyone's. You know, collectively, sometimes it's too much energies going on.
Indeed, for sure. Like, because that's one thing. Well, see, I got children, and and I was married and stuff. What I'm saying, like, even when you around your well, my children, they almost all of them grown. So I'm just saying, but even when you got grown children around you and they ain't really on the right stuff, their energy can affect you.
Right.
Their energy can throw your whole John off. You know what I'm saying? Even if they ain't grown, if they teenagers, some teenagers that had a house uh, lit, tripped out, right? You know what
Or
I'm saying?
fact.
So we know that, right? But yeah, that's right. Sometimes it's a blessing to be just having to deal with you, with yourself rather. You know what I mean? But hey, there's a lot of stuff I dealt with. Even dealing with fear, the certain kind of fear. I had to deal with it. It's just me dealing with it. I had to deal with it, and because I'm by myself in a certain kind of way. And I'm just saying. And you get to know you get to know yourself, and you get really closer to, I guess, whatever you perceive the creator or the force, the energy, God, Allah, whatever you perceive it to be, you get closer to it when you're by yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you falling asleep. I know it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
I was just sitting here listening to you, you know, just when you with yourself, you have time to hear your own thoughts.
Right. Yeah. Because a lot of times, this is just what I had to learn too about how I work with thoughts. You know what I mean? Because I think everybody had crazy thoughts. Like, just have some type of crazy whack thought that you would never want nobody to know that you thought that. We all get to, and you be like, yo, what the hell was I? Why was I thinking something like that? Like, I would never do that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Just something weird. But when you start understanding how that worked, and maybe who you around, that probably wasn't even that's somebody else thought
And yeah,
coming through
and
your
to your frequencies, but sometimes, you know, there's two sides of us. There's a light side and a dark side, you know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
And you gotta learn how which one you gonna feed is the one that's gonna win. You
Yeah.
know?
No, that's true. But that's another thing that I got from just learning about the dark and the light. Like all of the light and dark stuff. Whether you even go on the Asian stuff, when you used to watch the karate movies, and we knew, I used to, but I used to when I was one of them kids, I be practicing karate out of a book. I had books, but I knew about the yin yang, the white, the yin yang,
Them
and all that
old
stuff.
books where they show you how to move the feet and all that, do the I call them the katas, teaching you the katas and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I used to try to learn the forms. I'll be doing the forms out the books with my pops. My pops was into like Shotokan. He did Shotokan. That was his thing. But he had books. He had like Taekwondo books, and he had a lot of different books. And so I would be in there practicing forms out the book, trying to be. And it's funny. I ended up going into boxing, but
Cause the other side of you has that you know, we like I said, we all got two sides of us. So the other side of you has that warrior spirit, you know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, our thoughts come out that way. We just gotta learn how to contain them and execute them in a better way, you know?
yeah,
Cause
hey,
sometimes we all want to just go tear something up. Like, I just want to tear this up. Like, but
That's like anger management. But
Right,
you know what I'm saying? That's like anger
right,
management.
but
It don't necessarily got to be anger, but it could be rage. Yeah, but rage, man,
right.
rage and anger, yeah, that's kind of almost the same. But it's definitely, yeah. You got to manage that stuff.
And
And
like you said, the other side of you said, "What you thinking?" So it shows that your higher self is of more light. Don't want to do no harm. You had to take control when it tells you, well, yo, what you thinking? You know what I'm saying? We all have that though.
right, all that stuff though. But it's like the continuous journey of learning. Just like us sitting here talking is a beneficial thing. And who knows? You got 5 people in here watching. Well, 4 other than you got it's 5 people in here watching. I'm telling you, I had many days when it was just me. I'm just me. I'm solo, like, so I'm just like listen to people talk. Just like how me and you talking, I be how many hours I put in just listening to talks. People talking about some good stuff. Like used to be wishing I could get in the conversation, but I know it's a beneficial thing for people that's tapped into the right things. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I benefited greatly from this type of thing. You know what I mean, on social media. You know, I used to
So
go ahead.
I said, so do I. That's why I listen to you. I like to listen to you, like how you just get up there and talk, and you go so many places, and it gets me to thinking, like, wow.
No, I appreciate that, but
And then
trust me,
send me sometimes to do some research.
I appreciate you following me, and and it's the same way that I got it from people. And I've learned things from things that you've been posting because I've been following you and paying attention. I always go on your stuff, and that's a good thing. You know what I mean? And you could use this platform for a lot of different things. You know what I mean? This is a whole friggin' portal. So like, you could definitely go through the wrong portal and be on some mess, right? But yeah, it's all about what you choose. Like you said, your light, your higher self. You know what I mean? I choose to be on the higher stuff. You know what I mean? But I ain't holier than thou, none of that kind of stuff. I ain't on that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. I'm a human being, but I'm just saying, I use this. I use this for me to stay up. You know what I
I
mean?
feel you.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay up. I ain't got time to be playing around and all that. But you know, even though even what we was talking about, but the light and dark, but the ego thing. That thing,
Right,
that's real though.
right.
Cause if you ain't got no control over that, you'll never even get into like light and dark. Cause most of us that have I function with our ego a lot. Cause I ain't gonna I have in my life. We be thinking I ain't gonna say I thought I know everything, but I thought I was I was one of them kids that thought he was job smart, like But the ego thing, if you can subdue your ego, you can do anything. You know what I mean? That's a major fight to win in your life. You know, the conquer or start conquering that aspect of yourself, that ego.
'Cause some of us, our egos is ugly.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what holds us back. It don't be so much that people it be fear, but like we was talking about earlier, but it also be the ego that make people don't want to accept the truth. It be their ego because they didn't got it all set up in their mind what it is with the people and all this and that and third, and their ego their ego prevents them from redoing it, saying like, oh, I was wrong. I was just wrong. I was wrong. You know what I mean? And now I gotta redo it. The ego will stop them. It don't just be cognitive dissonance. They be knowing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time they be knowing. They just their ego won't make them be like, yeah, you right, you right. You know what I mean? I'm a, you right. They just keep arguing or try to make it like you want something other than the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but it's a process for everybody. Everybody don't get it at the same pace or the same time as everybody else. You know what I mean? That's why I just do my thing. And I let people do theirs. You know, but I'm definitely I'm really on. You know, I'm really. If I was to be really truly dialed into anything, it's definitely for people getting back into into their true reality, like they real who they supposed to be.
Right, right, right.
You know what I mean?
Remember how they say stand up with the real you, please stand up?
Right. Because that's that's the biggest harm on the people today that's the basis of it. People don't know they so. I mean, like I don't know, like right now here in Philly is like probably it's the same equal to like what's going on in Chicago or Baltimore, well in New York too. I mean, these kids is it's a lot of kids going down, here. I mean, every other day. I mean, I hear about. I mean, literally, the kids. These kids that I know, people that I know,
Yeah.
or it's day kids or somebody in their family or something like. You know what I mean? So, but all that stuff stem from not knowing yourself, not knowing who and what you are, and what your or even having a purpose. You know, a lot of these kids don't even have no purpose. They don't even want to be the best or be good at what they're doing, even if it's a little negative. They don't have no sense of like wanting to be like to be the best about it or be sharp or to be proficient or all of that kind of stuff. Certain things that we probably learned when we was young. Cause I know one thing my dad always told me. He said always do a good job.
No matter what you do, be the best at it,
Right.
right?
Yeah. So just basic. Even if he's washing dishes or he tells me to clean the yard up, whatever he tell me to do it, and always do a good job. So that that go for everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? But I'm just
Yeah.
saying a lot of the young people don't have that basic thing in their mind. They're like, damn, my pops or my mom's is like, yo, always do a good job. Like, come on, stop
This
playing.
generation, it's like they was given like I feel like I'm 53, right? So like my generation, I feel like a lot of us was so traumatized that we don't want our kids to work for nothing, even through the trauma. You know
But we
what I mean?
Yeah, but we dropped the ball. Each generation, our generation we dropped the ball, so to speak, on that tip.
Like
Because a
they
lot
give
of
you
us,
everything. Like, it's nothing to work for.
right, because our parents was the ones who dropped the ball. Because my grandparents was married all for till they died. You know what I'm saying? Rest in
Right.
peace to them. But what I'm saying is, they generation didn't get divorced or split up. My mom, our parents, like my parents, was born in the 40s, right? They generation is the generation that got divorced, and then all of a sudden we was growing up. We was the latchkey. Remember, we was the latchkey.
Latchkey kids. Yeah, yeah.
It's like you come home from school, ain't nobody there. Uh, so each generation dropped the ball on something on a certain tip.
Because the system imposed that.
True, that's true. Yeah,
Remove the father from the home, make the woman single parent, you know, put the father on drugs, whatever, all type of things, and now it's like they don't have time to deal with the trauma and drama. I gotta go to work. I gotta pay the bills. You figure it out. You figure it out. So our generation just give the kids everything. Here, 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 here.
And I'm guilty of that because I remember buying my kids cell phones when they was like 9, 10 years old.
Don't work for nothing. Remember how like we had to work
Right,
towards getting stuff,
right.
and you could have came from a well-off financial family, but you still had to show and prove why you deserve this.
You had to work for it. You had to be up on top of your chores.
Kids today don't do no chores. I remember you would go knock on your friend's house. They can't come out to you. You would go help them do the chores, or you would remind them, yo, make sure you do your bathroom because Saturday, do your chores because when we come get you, we don't want to go.
We need you for the basketball game or whatever.
Yeah,
You
like
gotta be
there,
out.
there was our generation just gave them everything. There's nothing to work towards. That you even have kids who went into the streets that did never have to sell drugs or nothing. But they did it because, I want to be a part. And there was no one to say it's really wrong.
Yeah, that's true. And like I said, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I ain't guilty of everything, but I'm guilty of a couple things. Because I'm just I fell into the matrix. You know what I mean? I'm in it too. You know.
People giving their kids, you got children that's 3 and 4 years old with cell phones. What is going on?
And you know what I had to think about one time, and I always bring this up because I always think about it. I be like, yo, back in the day, because I got two sisters. I got an older sister and a younger sister. I don't have no brothers, but my cousins, my cousins, the males, they like my brothers, right? But so and I
Mhm.
was like, yo, we be down in my grandmother's house, right? And I said I can remember when we was young boys, right? Like I'm talking about like 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, even up to like 12, almost 12, right? We would be tripping off like. Remember how back in the day the newspapers would have like the advertisements of like women and their panties and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I remember, and I said, "Yo, I can remember us sitting there like, yo, like, like hype because off a lady in her panties in the newspaper.
Hmm.
This was the level of our maturity in mind, and like, you know." And I said, "Damn." I sat up here and I bought my kids 8, 9, 10 years old. I bought them a cell phone, where so they can access the highest level of
Whatever, right.
on that cell phone. So it's bad. That's bad, and that's what makes them different too.
And our parents, some of us come from households where you didn't have an ultimatum. You know what I mean?
What you mean with doing certain things?
Yeah, like kids now giving too many ultimatums and parents don't stand up to the accountability of when the children don't do what they supposed to do. Like we do what we were supposed to do, you be like, oh my God, I'm on punishment the whole summer.
Right, but we also even when we became teenagers, I'm gonna be honest because my father put me out on my 15th birthday, and
Wow.
I've been on my own ever since. I mean, I've been in and out of his house, when he was still living in certain times I was going through certain turmoil and I had to go back stay with him. But I'm saying when I was originally like a kid, 15 years old,
Mhm.
see, but we come from that generation. We come from the generation that kick you out.
When you thought it was too big for your own britches,
Like, go get out, go ahead, roll then, or however they say it where you from, right? Uh, Nowadays parents just put up with stuff, because even I get it. A lot of times, you, whether it's a mother or a father, you don't want to kick them out because they might get killed. Well, shoot, I might have got killed too. But back in the day, like, no, your parents, parents was just more like hardcore, more tough love. It was tough. It was tough love, more tough love back then
mhm,
than now. Now it ain't so much so. Ain't no. We need. It should be balanced. I think.
it's called you got to give them a little bit of what you did have as well as what you didn't have.
Right. Right. You gotta balance it out. Cause yeah, I'm just saying. I experienced. My dad was. He was good. He was good, but he was harsh. He was harsh in a lot of ways, but I mean, It is what it is. It just is what it is. But I just know that I've did some things that he didn't do. Maybe let's say a little better, but it's things that he did that was way better than what I did as a parent. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's like a balance. It'd be if we really, it would be better to be balanced.
They taught us to try to be self-efficient.
I'm gonna be balanced with my grandkids.
Kids today, they not self-efficient. Like they freak out. Like, you know what I mean? We knew how to make do. They freak, they spaz out. Like if you say no, oh Lord, you like what in the world?
Yeah, I remember. Shoot, look, and a few of my kids, they like real. They like me. So especially the ones that I brought them up boxing. They really believe they like that. So I mean, I used to always tell them like, look, if I say something to you, it's only a couple people that can say certain stuff to you, and you just let it go, right? Let it go. You know what I mean? Because if me and you get into it, somebody getting hurt, right? Somebody going down, and it ain't gonna be me. You know how that go, right?
Hmm.
It ain't gonna be me, but yeah, I know how these kids snap out about the craziest things. And I spoiled my sons too. I ain't gonna lie, the ones that always live, I spoiled them. Like I cook food, I bring the plate to the table for them. All that. I spoiled my kids. But see, I ain't gonna say that this made it better. These are my fighters. So I treat them a little different because we be all over the place and they be fighting. You know, so it's just I baby them up a little bit, but some of I baby them too much a little bit. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, I baby them too much. They don't even know they spoiled.
No, they don't. Like us being latchkey kids, man. You could send us in the forest. We gonna come out with a three-piece suit. Them,
Right,
Lord,
right. I don't know. Hey, each generation, they lose. You lose a little something. But these kids, they super fast though with certain stuff though, especially with technology. They get stuff. They just don't have a strong. They don't know how to communicate. You know how like when we was coming up, if you wanted to kick it with a girl or guy, whatever, you know what I'm saying, you would have to. You would either you would have to talk on the phone, or you did a lot of talking to people. Like you might go around and chill with them in front of their crib, sit on the step or something, or on the porch. So you really knew how to express yourself. You know what I mean? Whereas now, a lot of expression they express through emojis. You do all the little
and
stuff.
then you could be whatever, whoever you want to be now. About you, you know what I'm saying? Like a whole illusion, a whole illusion. You like what in the world?
Yeah, yeah.
A
That's
whole
that's
illusion.
that's something. That's something. But that's something the youth do need to work on communication skills. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely that. You know what I mean? But hey, whether you older or you younger, we all a work in progress.
Hmm.
I don't care who you think you are,
You're gonna learn. You're gonna keep learning to the day you close your eyes from this flesh. If you open minded to it.
because even on the spiritual road, like everybody on the spiritual journey, they just don't, even if they don't know it or not. But you know what I mean? You constantly balancing. You constantly, a lot of time when we learn stuff, a lot of time people learn stuff that can cause you to get egotistical too and look down on people. That's why I try to stay balanced. I be like, I just be, I try to stay balanced with it. You know what I mean? So if constantly gotta always keep it down when that monster, the monster start trying to come up, you gotta keep pushing it down. Like, you know.
It was nice talking to you, brother. I'm here falling asleep.
No, yeah, go ahead and get some sleep because I think I'm ready to dial out too.
All right. Have a good
Yeah.
night.
No, likewise. I
All right.
appreciate you.
All right.
I see
I
you tomorrow.
appreciate you too, brother. All right.
All right, peace. Yeah, I think I'm gonna dial out. I've been on here about an hour and a half. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate I'm hitting it on my own like but I appreciate y'all who hung on with me, and yeah, I guess tomorrow I'm gonna run it back, do it again. But definitely, well, nah, I think I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna go off. I'm tired. At least something to drink. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, and hopefully I see y'all soon. Peace.